Hello students. So for this video, we will talk about the different issues in informatics, most especially when we apply it into the nursing profession. Now, nursing informatics was only identified as a subspecialty in the United States during the 1980s. It was defined as the combination of nursing, information, and computer sciences to manage and process nursing data into information and knowledge for use in nursing practice. It means that we need to utilize information structures, processes, and information technology. So that's why we talked about in our earlier lecture, we have to be familiar with the different hardware, software that we use in our daily lives. Because in nursing informatics, this is the part where we apply our information structure and technology in managing nursing data. So the practice of nursing informatics includes the domain of data and its structure, information management, and technology. So if you will look into how our information is being processed, how our information is being stored, we have to understand some concepts in linguistics, organizational dynamics, communication engineering, library science, and even cognitive science, or the way we understand things. Because it is by understanding the nature of our data that we can store it into our computer systems. It is by understanding how an organization works that we can design appropriate nursing information technology that is suited to the needs of the nurses in that organization. So why do we need to study, or why did nursing informatics develop as a specialty? Because we all know that during the early 90s, 1900s, and as of now, and until now, there has been always a nursing shortage, okay, which is seen as detrimental in the delivery of quality healthcare. Okay, so the more it becomes, or the nurses becomes more overburdened with work, no, especially when patients come in at dumadami ang pasyente, dumadami rin ang documentation task ng nurses. Maraming activities na ipinagagawa, mas nagiging complex ang ating paligid, mas nagiging complex ang medical and healthcare science, mas nagiging complex ang documentation needs, and information technology needs ng mga nurses. Okay? So the development of health science also necessitated the development of nursing informatics, because the more complex that our technology gets, the more that we must be informed as nurses of this technology. All right? And we also need to develop nursing informatics as a specialty, because we in 2000, the average age of nurses is 45 years old. It implies that our nursing workforce is getting older, and we need to cope with this challenge. When our nursing workforce is getting older, we need to use the available technology to improve our care. Okay? Pero syempre ngayon, ngayong after 20 years, medyo bumabata na dahil maraming nag-take up ng nursing, but still, technology can provide solutions in the burden that we have as nurses, as nurses in the clinical practice, in education, in research, and other aspects of nursing practice. Okay? Now, primarily, nursing informatics is needed because we need to resolve errors. We need to resolve problems stemming from medication order confusion. Yung pagkalito sa order ng doctors, or miscommunication because hindi maayos yung sulat, or the terminology is different from the way we understand it. So one reason why nursing informatics emerged is because we want to avoid this avoidable errors sana, no? So to help us avoid these errors, we used or we tapped, no, technology, okay, in our nursing practice. So primarily, the reason for nursing informatics is also to improve patient safety. Okay. So another issue that we have to identify on nursing informatics, no, is the issue of automation. Now, automation is the process wherein we try to we let the computer do a certain set of repetitive instructions so that for us, no, yung nag-input ng data can save time and allocate it more to our patients. Okay? So computerization of hospital documents, no, has been seen, no, to produce good outcome. Maganda ang outcome kapag tayo ay gumagamit ng computers ng tama. So they utilized database, spreadsheets, document production systems, no, which streamlined our organizational processes. If you come to work in, if you have experienced the effect, no, of computer in making your work easier, then you can relate it to the bulk of hospital documents that have been processed, no, using computer. Okay, so they technically automation can save nurses some time, some effort. Okay, and it can also save lives, and it can also save resources because automation or computerization, no, has caused reduction in paper expenditure. Okay. Now, another issue that we need to tackle in nursing informatics is the use, no, of technology in the medication use process, no, or in the medication process. Always remember that in medication process and the integration of technology into it, the top priority or the top concern will always be the safety of your patient. Okay, because we all know that healthcare can be a high error prone industry. Okay, and that deaths in hospitals are usually attributed with practitioners interacting with bad systems. Okay, so the acquisition of computers were sometimes focused on standalone system. Hindi siya nagagamit for the whole organization, which minimizes its usefulness. Okay. Now, one use that they did, no, for the use of technology in medication is the implementation of CPOE. CPOE stands for Computerized Prescriber Order Entry, wherein this is a system that use direct entry of one or more types of medical orders electronically into a system that transmits those order electronically ulit to the department concerned. So everything that the physician, no, or any healthcare provider orders or wants to be executed will be entered into the CPOE. Okay? Sadly, in the Philippines, CPOE has not been implemented or used, no, but it's used in the United States, no, or in developed countries. Okay, it hasn't been used here in the Philippines yung ating yung tinatawag na CPOE, no. So that's how CPOE works. Okay, so this eliminates, no, the use of paper-based system or minimizes the use of paper-based system as a form of communication among healthcare providers. Okay, since it's difficult to locate, yung pertinent information in paper-based system, sa CPOE mas pinadali yung pag-locate ng data. No, for example, no, sa computer ninyo kapag kayo gumagawa ng document at sa Microsoft Word ginagamit niyo yung search function, mas napapadali yung paghahanap ng certain word or information. So ganun din po kapag tayo ay gumagamit ng computerized prescriber order entry. We can use the search function for any orders that may be related to your keywords. Okay? And ultimately, the benefit of CPO is that it removes illegible handwriting. No? And multiple volumes of patient records, no, are sometimes compressed, no, and computerized para mas madaling gamitin or mas madaling maintindihan at ma-manage. Okay, so here are some based on studies, no. Here are some advantages of CPOE. Number one, it reduced medication errors by 55%. That's according to Bates. Okay. So the non-missed dose errors fell to 26.6 per 1,000 cases. That's according to Bates again. And that handwriting misinterpretation, syempre, would be eliminated. Errors of omission are reduced, and that fewer handoffs occur. Kasi what do we mean when we say handoff? It's the transmission of the order from one person to the other. So the tendency or an error of omission might be committed if handoffs are prevalent, no? Ibig sabihin, pag mas marami mong beses pinapasa ang order ng isang doktor, mas mataas ang chance na makalimutan siya na i-implement. Ganun din sa documentation. Sa dami ng iyong pinapasang information, there's a tendency that you omit the data na nakuha originally. So fewer handoffs are lessened because of with the aid of the CPOE. Okay? And since fewer handoffs ang nangyayari, there's the transmission of information will be faster, mas mabilis. Another type of technology used in hospitals, no, in developed countries, are your barcode-enabled point-of-care technology, o yung tinatawag na BPOC technology. So this is primarily used in medication administration process, kung saan ang isang pasyente ay naka-assign ng isang barcode which is usually placed on his ID tag. No? So the barcode, once scanned, will display doon sa PDA or handheld device ng nurse kung anong medications ang kailangan niyang inumin, any other preparations that need to be done to the patient, nakalagay po doon. So it has an impact on productivity and identification ng patient. Okay? So, syempre, we recognize that barcode-enabled point of care is not perfect. In this system, it is also a second identifier for a patient is also included. So the system helps to verify that the right drug is administered to the right patient at the right dose and at the right time. Okay? So there are some negative effects, no, here in BPOC. No, sometimes it finds it difficult, or some nurses find it difficult to deviate from the usual way of administering medication. That's understandable. Okay. And number two, nurses have their own strategies, no, sometimes to circumvent the BPOC. Okay. Although hindi pa ginagamit ang BPOC here in the Philippines, but no, may isa rin lang ako nakitang ospital na gumagamit ng BPOC but tinigil nila. No? So, BPOC can sometimes be, if you will look into its system, can sometimes related to your yung Stay Safe PH na ginagamit ngayon for QR code. No? So your Stay Safe app will generate a barcode for you, no? Will generate a barcode for you. So once you enter an establishment, when you scan a QR, you can open your QR code can automatically transmit, no, your information to the establishment na papasukan ninyo. No? So for example, here's an example of my QR code. No? So when this QR code or when the QR code of the establishment is scanned, my information will be transmitted to them. No? So when it's transmitted to them, then that's that's it. No? My identification is already submitted, no? Doon sa organization or sa establishment na papasukan. Kapareho siya ng BPOC in a sense, no? Because you use barcode, you use the scanner to transmit information, etc. No? Nagkaiba lang ng usage. One is for public health purpose, yung ating QR code na stay safe. Yung itong BPOC naman is used for hospital and inpatient systems. So when you try to computerize everything, another issue that we need to discuss is the issue of standardization. No? Healthcare data is very diverse. Okay? It can be written in different forms. It can be expressed, no, in different units. So healthcare data is very diverse in a sense. No? Masyadong vague, masyadong malawak, masyadong marami. Now, for you to computerize it and for the computer to create a system that is reliable for you, you need to standardize your healthcare data. Okay? So standardizing your healthcare data or healthcare data standards is the method or the protocol, no, wherein you specify the collection, exchange, storage, retrieval, and also how the way you process the information. Okay? So it's like making everything the same. No? It's like making everything at level so that your computer can process it more efficiently. Now, healthcare data standards aims to reduce, no, the level of ambiguity in the communication of data. And it also streamlines, no, the way you transmit your information. It addresses, sabi nga natin kanina, it addresses your format of information, okay, the syntax, okay, that are exchanged between computer systems, document architecture, clinical templates, and user interface and patient data linkage, so that it achieves compatibility, okay, between systems. So there are 4 broad classes of message format that has emerged, no? So isa doon yung medical device communication, okay? Number 2 is digital imaging communications. Number 3 is administrative data exchange. And last but not the least, yung clinical data exchange. So this one pertains, no, yung medical device pertains to medical devices used in the hospital. When we say digital imaging communication, this refers to the diagnostics, no, particularly imaging data. Administrative data refers to the managerial or the management of the employees of the hospital and as well as its transactions. And lastly, for the clinical data of your patients. Okay. Now, there's a process, no, in standards development. No? The first is the core of every system is the concept of secured patient-centered EHR or electronic health record. Okay, now safeguarding the safety and security of patient data is the core, no, of all process of all process that involves standard development, no, sa nursing informatics. Kailangan dapat ma-secure ang privacy and confidentiality because there's a danger, no? There's a danger of misusing this data about your patient in other forms. And it's also a respect for the patient's dignity, no? Yung pangalagaan, yung kanyang information at huwag ibigay sa kung sino man. Now, not all computer systems kasi are invincible sa attack, no? Like for example, what happened sa US Care Group, no? Nagkaroon ng worm attacks na doon sa US, no? Yung Blaster and So Big worm attacks in August 2003 attack the Care Group data in the United States. So maraming na-expose na data ng pasyente which was used in a number of ways, no? O, pagpalagay na lang din natin, I hope that you're reading news, no? There's an issue with Facebook, as with the issue of Facebook of sharing data with advertisement, no? With advertisers. Even if you want to only your Facebook account to be just your personal space, personal digital space. But then I-invade yung inyong space kasi there's a tendency of Facebook, no, to give this analytics, your data, to advertisers. So minsan nakakita ka ng ads na hindi mo naman hinanap, hindi mo naman kailangan, pero lumalabas sa iyo. It's because the analytics of Facebook, no, the Facebook algorithm uses your data to show you what you might be interested in based on your data. Okay? So yun po ang ating issue with your nursing informatics, no? The vulnerability of your patient's data. So dapat papangalagaan yon when you develop your systems. So for the guidelines for building dependable systems, I leave this one to you to read. No? It's in your book. It's explicitly stated in that part. Okay, and you need to understand, kahit somehow, the core essence, no, of building the dependable system. No? Nakalagay po doon, dapat you need to design for dependability. That's the first one when you design your nursing informatics system. Number two, you need to anticipate failures. No? By anticipating failures, you try to address any failure mode that might be experienced by your patient when accessing their data, or the users when they access the data. Number three, you also have to anticipate success. When we say anticipate success, we must be open, no, for expansion of our data. Kasi hindi your system, if you develop it in your own unit, kapag ilalagay mo na siya or i-apply mo na siya sa buong system, sa buong hospital, you will be using, no? You have to expand the use of your system for the whole hospital. Okay? Next is that you hire also meticulous managers. When we say meticulous managers, they are proactive, no, in identifying problems, no, potential for expansion, and the likes. And lastly, don't be adventurous. No? It does say that when you build your system, you do not acquire computer products or systems or hardware or software that are not tested. Stick only to what IT systems have been recommending, what IT systems that people are using, no, commonly using, so that you can succeed in developing your system. So another items that address standardization of data is yung tinatawag na NMDS. NMDS stands for Nursing Minimum Data Set Systems. No? So sabi nga natin kanina, for you to enter data into a system, no, patient's data to enter your system, you need to have the minimum data set, no, a standard data set. Sa atin, for nurses, we use the nursing minimum data set, which comes from your assessment, no, from your diagnosis, from your outcomes, no, and then your evaluation. Now, your NMDS should meet the following criteria. No? Data must be useful, number one, syempre, to potential users. Number two, the items in the set must be readily collectible with reasonable accuracy. Number three, items should not duplicate other available data. No? And that number four, confidentiality must not be violated. So in the United States, there are three categories or three recognized terminologies, no, ng inyong nursing minimum data set. That includes, no, yung inyong NANDA, the data standardization categories found in your NANDA, no, or yung North American Nursing Diagnosis Association. The one that you can see, yung NIC and IC, yung Nursing Intervention Classification, and the NOC, your Nursing Outcome Classification. So that's what they use in the United States in categorizing nursing data, no? Yung sananda ninyo. Okay? But technically, there are 16 elements of nursing minimum data set, no? Categorized into 3 major categories, no? Aside from the nursing, no? Here are the other 2. So one is demographic element, no? Yung personal identification, date of birth, gender, race, residence. The second part is yung service element, or something that talks about the administrative aspect, no, ng inyong hospital, okay, or the service agency. So it includes service agency number, health record number, unique number of principal registered nurse provider, no? Yun yung inyong lisensya kung kayo ay mga nurses na. Fourth is the episode admission or encounter, discharge termination date, disposition of client, and expected payee. So for the nursing care element, ito po yun, yung nursing diagnosis, nursing intervention, patient outcome, intensity of nursing care. With that, I end my video lecture for this week. No? I hope you learned something from me. And if you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me through my messenger, send an email, or you can start a discussion in our Facebook group. With that, have a nice week.